like to check my tire pressure very often. It's one of those great things that not only improves the quality of your ride, but it helps prolong your tire's life and also gives you better mileage. So I use this little gauge here. This is the one I like. I can keep it in my glove compartment, and simple to use. They're cheap to buy. So I do it quite often, but today I found a small little problem when I went to do one of my tires. Let me show you. So when I went to check the tire pressure on this tire, this is what I found. Can you hear that? Just a slight leak so far, but when I take the whole cap off, you can probably hear that. Air is rushing out. Not good. Now, obviously, that is not supposed to happen. The little valve cap is supposed to be there just to keep the valve stem from getting dirty. And so this means I have to figure out how I'm going to fix it. Now, obviously, I've got a lot of options. First off, I can call AAA, have them come out. They could fix it probably pretty easy. Or I can think that, hey, the little valve cap has been holding the air in the tire all this time. Who knows how long that little valve stem has been broke, but you know, it's been holding the air in at least for today until I took the little cap off. So I could just put the cap back on tight and take the van in tomorrow to the tire shop and have the tire shop fix it. But I really don't like the idea because the little valve cap is plastic, and it's probably a lot to ask for a little plastic cap to hold all the air in the tire. Although, like I said, it's been holding it just fine all this time. But I'm going to take the third option here, in that I'm just going to fix this myself. And what I did was I went to the auto parts store and I bought this little tire repair kit. Now what I know is this little valve stem has a little replaceable part. So I am going to attempt to replace that part with this little kit. Now this little kit was about $5, and it comes with a few things. Comes with a little tire gauge here. It comes with some caps. I kind of like these. These are little metal caps. These are plastic caps, kind of like what I already have. This is a little tool that we're going to need. And these are the little parts that we're going to need. This is a valve stem, I believe, a needle valve. I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but I know that that's the part that I need, and that's the part that is failing in the tire itself. So this should be a rather simple job. I've just got to quickly use this little tool to unscrew the old valve stem and then just screw in the new one. And that should do the trick. All right, I think that worked. There's the old part. I'm not sure if it's bad or if it just loosened up. I may have just been able to tighten this up, but I figured I had the new part, so I just thought I'd put it in for a little more peace of mind. Now, you can see what happened though. I wasn't quite so quick about doing that with all that air rushing out. I lost quite a bit of air in the tires, so now I'm going to have to pump the tire up. But that's not a problem for me either, because all of these ProMaster Cities ship with a little tire pump. Now this is a little fancy one that has some tire sealant on the one side, you see, and then it's just a little pump that pumps air running off of your 12-volt cigarette lighter. If you don't have one of these, if your vehicle doesn't come with one, I would highly recommend that you get one. These are some of the tools that I think are definitely worth carrying in your van. You know, I don't have a whole lot of space, but I definitely make space for something like this, because otherwise I'd be in a bit of trouble. I would have to call AAA, or I would be stuck for a while waiting to get air in a tire. So this is something that I definitely like having on hand. And while I'm at it, I figure I might as well just swap out these plastic tire stems with these little metal chrome ones. Yeah, I think that looks better. Since they came in the kit, I figured I might as well use them. So that was a pretty easy fix. And I wanted to share that with all of you, not to show you that I'm some kind of great mechanic. I'm not. I'm not particularly handy when it comes to working on cars. But I think it's important to be as self-reliant as you possibly can. So I knew that that part was repairable, and if I didn't know that, I would have had to choose to call AAA or wait it out and take the van into the tire shop tomorrow. I like options. I think options are good. And now it's done for $5 and a few minutes of my time. It's finished. I can take a little hike before I get to making dinner. So I like having options, and I like being self-reliant. I really don't think that you have to live in a van to want to be self-reliant. I think being self-reliant is helpful for all of us. So it's good that I took a little bit of time in the past to know how my tires and vehicle works the best I can anyway, even though I'm not mechanically inclined, because in this case it saved me. So I think you don't really have to know the ins and outs of your vehicle. You don't have to really be a great mechanic. You just need a little bit of information so that you have choices. And I think that applies to most everything else as well. The more information you have, the more choices you have. And when you have choices and you can figure things out on your own, you're much more self-reliant. So I think having choice is good, because then you can spend your time doing things that you want to do instead of being at the mercy of somebody else. And you don't have to live in a van to agree with that, I don't think. You know what I wish? I wish I was half as good at trimming my beard as I am about figuring out tire problems. But it'll grow back. It'll grow back.